As the post-cyclone recovery continues, farming communities across Hawke's Bay are grappling with a range of issues that make day-to-day activities all the more difficult.
The main issue is access, so being able to get trucks, well certainly for a start utes, so you can get your go to town and buy your supplies and the like, and then also trucks after that so you can get stock and other things moved around between and off farm. Certainly the damage on farms is massive, like there's slips, some people 20%, 30% of their farm has been impacted by slips, so that's taking out fences, culverts, tracks, so there's some massive infrastructure on farm damage, let alone the infrastructure damage on the roads around. Unless you can get a truck there, you can't get your stock off. And people are normally selling their stock, like the cattle are weaned, their calves are getting weaned off the beef cattle now, and they normally go to sale yards or off farm to someone else, and you can't get a truck there, you can't get them there. With a dairy farm, they've had to dry off because they can't get the milk out because there's no tank access to be able to get the milk out once they've milked them. So, it's access, and roading access is absolutely key. You need to be able to put your animals in a paddock and make sure they stay there. There's also been deer farms where the deer fences are gone and the deer have shot through, so they've lost their stock. And cattle have wandered from farm to farm because there's no fences. You can generally get them back, and that's okay. But deer, when they get into the bush, they're impossible to find. To do an 8-wire fence is somewhere between $20 and $25 a metre. So a kilometre is $20,000 to $25,000. And people have lost kilometres of fence, not just 100 metres, 200 metres, there's kilometres of fence.
Along the river, there's probably 2.5 kilometres of fences there, and then I'd say joined up all the slips through fences is probably another 300 metres in netting. 50% of the farm was out because of slips through fences. Just, can't really seclude stock in the paddocks. Putting all this money and doing all this work just to get back to where we were, 2 months ago. So I just can't stress how lucky we are compared to some people.
There's been such a huge demand for netting and waratahs. Some stock from the North Island has been exhausted. Now we've got to get out of the South Island. The ferries aren't working properly. One factor that we're also looking at was a real issue is RMA, Resource Management Act. There's a lot of things that you do on your farm that you may need a consent for, such as clearing silt off your land. Like you're only supposed to move 100 cubic metres per hectare. If you've got 60 or 70 truckloads, that's a lot more than that. So technically you're breaking the rules.
Some people have lost everything, houses, family, and, farm stock. So we're really lucky, but it did take its hit on us.